Welcome back to Shop Cuts. This is our series on building shaker style cabinet doors. This is part 3. On part 1 and 2 we prepared our stock and we machined all of our pieces and we did the assembly of all of our doors. So today in part 3 we're going to run all the doors through the drum sander and do a rough sanding and get them all flat and uniform. And then after that we'll take them over to the drill press and we'll bore out the holes for the hinges. And then after that we'll do a final sanding and then we'll put in the hinges and we'll be finished up. So stick around. Alright, we got all of our doors assembled. Now we're going to do a rough sanding on all the doors through the drum sander here and get them down to smooth uniform thickness on both sides. Then we'll go back and bore our holes for our hinges and do a final sanding. Here goes.
You wanna dance?
Alright, we got our doors rough sanded, ready to bore our holes for our hinges. I'm using a European style hinge or a cup hinge. These happen to be a 2-piece hinge. That piece goes on your cabinet, this piece goes on your door. And there's a lot of different ways to drill the holes for your hinges. And I've used several of them, but I found this guy right here. It's by CMT, and it's hooks up to a drill press. You can just put it on I just have an inexpensive drill press kind of dedicated to this. And it's, I think, the best bang for the buck as far as good, accurate, repeatable, solid. Some of the big companies will sell a dedicated machine and it's in the thousands of dollars, and this is probably $250 or so for this guy, and never had a single problem. I made a little table here for it with some stops, and I clamp my doors down and it works great. So let's get started and we'll drill some hinges. Okay, so I've got our setup block here. I've already got my depth set on here, or at least I think it's close, and we'll check it here in a minute. I put my stop at 3.5 inches from the center of this hole. That seems to work pretty well for me. I just put little marks on my table here. 3.5's always worked well for me. So I'm going to put my setup block in here, clamp it down. Go ahead and drill this test hole. The only part about it I don't like is I don't have any kind of dust collection set up on this thing yet. But, and then just to double check our depth, I like to just take a caliper here and measure my hinge. Check the cup area. We're good. Now I buy the hinges, you can buy them with screws or dowels. I buy mine with the dowels in them like this, and it's just a plastic insert that your screws attached to, but the screws already in there. It comes that way. And you can buy them either way, but I prefer this way because then you can just take the hinge like this. It drills all 3 holes at once. Stick it in there and tap it in with a mallet, and you're done. And then you can take the hinge out for painting or whatever. You just unscrew the screws, the doweled inserts stay in the door, and the hinge and the screws come out. So I think I'm satisfied with this, our setup block. I'm going to go get some doors and we'll start drilling some holes in some doors. Okay, here we go. And normally I would go through and drill all of my holes, all the holes set up on this side once, all the way through all my doors, but and then switch my block over to the other side. But on this one, I'll switch it out for this door. You can build something just like this. I just have some T-track in this board with a couple little 1/4x20 bolts and some screws there, and you can make your own. Make sure. Kind of lost my markings there. Yep, you're good. Okay, so now, make sure these are tightened down. Same door, so did that one already. Gotta do the other side. That's it. We got both holes bored and drilled and ready to go. So let's go finish this door up. Alright, we're ready for our final sanding. I usually do that with a random orbit sander. I'm going to sand these with 100 grit and then 220, and that should be it. So here we go.
You wanna dance?
these hinges I showed you earlier. Sometimes I like to have a little thicker mat there. So I'll put like a carpet square or something down so we don't damage the face of our doors. Take our hinges and a dead blow mallet like we had earlier. Stick it in there like that. That's all there is to it. So there you have it. We got our door all put together, we got it sanded, and we got our holes drilled for our hinges, and it's ready to be installed and put to use. If you learned something and you enjoyed this video, hit the like button, and please subscribe for more builds like this in the future. See you next time.